Now at 10, Jasper County authorities respond to an early morning disturbance in Joplin that leaves one man dead. Plus, the Kansas Fire Marshal determines an accident caused last week's fatal apartment fire. And students at Missouri Southern celebrate a new campus skate ramp.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Joplin murder suspect today pleads not guilty. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Tanya Bach. Authorities say Scott Burleson stabbed and killed Seth Langford of Carl Junction. The incident happened on March 2nd. Burleson faces charges of second-degree murder, first-degree robbery, and 2 counts of armed criminal action. Jasper County Sheriff's Department responded to reports of a shooting just before 10 this morning at Hillbilly Pumping and Hauling on North Schifferdecker. Authorities say a disturbance was also reported. The Sheriff's Department confirms one person, Travis Wyrick of Joplin, has died. Next of kin has been notified. No arrests have been made, but authorities are investigating witnesses. The Kansas State Fire Marshal says a second person has died from last week's apartment fire in Chanute. Officials say 90-year-old Joe Levon Haymaker died from severe injuries in the hospital on Saturday. Haymaker is the second victim of Thursday's Cornerstone apartment fire. The first is 22-year-old Kaylin Jones, who was found dead at the scene. 7 other residents of the building were injured but have since been released from the hospital. The fire marshal also determined the cause of the fire to be accidental, saying it started due to carelessly discarded smoking materials on a balcony. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
All right, for us today, we had scattered showers and thunderstorms through the night into the morning hours, and a few more additional ones popped up late, pretty close to where we should be for the latter half of March. 61, average high is 63 degrees. Cooling down, we're dry now. It's 43 in Joplin. Pittsburgh is sitting at 42. Look at this colder air rushing in. 39, Yates Center 37. Independence, Nowata is sitting at 40 degrees, and then still upper 40s once you get into our eastern counties. But the wind's kind of strong behind this front. We're getting these westerly winds sustained 10 to 20, but we've been getting some gusts right around 30 miles per hour. Right along the front, some scattered showers and thunderstorms now pushing out of the region, so we're mainly dry from this point on, but a big cool down, so we're going to be talking about that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. A tractor-trailer grain hauler folds in Jasper County and blocks a roadway this morning. It happened about 7:15. The crash happened on Chapel Road and Driftwood Lane. According to officials, a vehicle swerved into the truck's lane and caused the trailer driver to strike a culvert. The collapse spilled a small amount of corn on the road. USDA has been contacted regarding the 53,000 pounds of corn for livestock. There are no reported injuries. Fire departments in Oklahoma are training with new electric and hybrid vehicles. Logan County firefighters practice helping drivers in emergencies in these newer models. They require different tools and techniques. Firefighters could get shocked or even electrocuted if not handled properly. Today, the Arvest Foundation granted $25,000 to the new community ride system in Southwest Missouri. The Economic Security Corporation began CARS, or Community Action Ride System, in response to the loss of the trolley system in the area. Now, this program will serve Barton, Jasper, Newton, and McDonald counties in Missouri. Volunteer drivers are encouraged to participate.
So CARS is still set to launch in May. We're actually holding a community event in April to sort of celebrate that launch in Landreth Park, so people can come out, they can learn more about how to schedule a ride. If they're interested in volunteering, we can sign them up for it, all to get ready for that May launch.
For more information, including signing up for the service or volunteering to drive, you can head over to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Ribbon Road in Ottawa County is some of the only original road left of Route 66, but a proposal to repair the 3-mile stretch of the historic highway is raising concern. The current proposal calls for milling and repaving the original road. Miami City and Ottawa County officials, as well as state agencies and Route 66 associations, are involved in these discussions, and those arguing against the proposal say it would destroy history.
So there's been different views on how that should be preserved. Our view as a city is to preserve it as is. and keep those original pieces of the Ribbon Road. Milling them, feels like kills them.
Miami officials say they have another meeting scheduled to discuss the future of Ribbon Road, and when we visited Ribbon Road today, we noticed it looked different than it did last week. As you can see, the road is now covered with dirt and gravel, and very little pavement is visible. Miami officials say they were unaware of the work being done, but hope it is just dirt laid down to help preserve the road as the proposal is under discussion. Now, we reached out to an official with the Oklahoma Department of Transportation to confirm what work is being done, and we have not yet received a response. The Downtown Joplin Alliance put out the call on Facebook today for, quote, developers and innovators in reference to the Joplin Union Depot. Solicitations are now being sought for redevelopment of this historic piece of Joplin's past that has sat vacant for decades. Interested parties or developers have until May 31st to submit their solicitation of interest. We have more information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com, including how to download your own solicitation of interest packet. You might see a lot more skateboards at Missouri Southern. University today hosted a first drop-in to celebrate the new on-campus skate ramp. MSSU alumnus Nathan Bemo founded the American Ramp Company and wanted to give back to his alma mater, so his company built the ramp.
We worked with the school in checking out different areas of the school and talked about where it could work best. But ultimately, they chose the site, which is great. I think is a great spot for the ramp to be.
The ramp is located by McCormick Residence Hall. Columbus and Labette County softball teams get off to a red-hot start this season. John has highlights from their matchup coming up later in sports. But first, a New York judge sets a date for the criminal case against former President Donald Trump, stemming from an alleged hush money payment.
Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
An appeals court pushed back a bond deadline for former President Donald Trump to appeal his civil fraud judgment and lowered the amount. But in a criminal case, a judge rejected Trump's request for more delays, setting a trial date for next month. Now, Trump would be the first former president ever to face a criminal trial. Nicole Skanga has the report.
Former President Trump spoke out after a judge dashed his hopes of further delaying his trial involving alleged hush money payments to former adult film star Stormy Daniels.
I shouldn't have a trial. This is not a trial. This is not an act of criminality.
In a Manhattan courtroom, Judge Juan Merchan ruled jury selection will begin April 15th in the criminal case.
I would have no problem testifying. I didn't do anything wrong.
Trump's lawyers argued the trial should be delayed or dismissed because thousands of documents were improperly introduced this month. Judge Merchan rejected that, saying, "You are literally accusing the Manhattan DA's office of prosecutorial misconduct and trying to make me complicit in it, and you don't have a single case to cite?" Trump is accused of falsifying business records to cover up payments to Daniels, who claimed she had an affair with Trump.
We've never had a former president indicted like this. Then he's running for re-election, so that complicates things.
Also Monday, a New York appeals court ruled the more than $400 million bond Trump was to pay in a civil fraud trial can be reduced to $175 million, and Trump will have 10 extra days to hand it over.
My statements, my financial statements, were conservative. They were low, not high.
New York Attorney General Letitia James was preparing to collect if Trump couldn't pay and possibly seize some of his high-profile properties. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
The New York Attorney General also said the new lower bond figure does not affect the case. She said, quote, Donald Trump is still facing accountability for his staggering fraud. She added that the judgment against him and his co-defenders still stands. According to Missouri state statute, electioneering is not allowed within 25 feet of polling sites, meaning no clothing, buttons, or signs that promote a political candidate and stance. If you happen to be wearing a shirt that breaks electioneering rules, poll workers will ask you to change or turn your shirt inside out. Jasper County Clerk Charlie Davis says these rules don't just apply to what's on that day's ballot.
to barrage them with a bunch of signs and literature while you're standing in line to vote kind of gets a little bit frustrating.
Missouri's municipal election date is April 2nd. There are items on the ballot in all southwest Missouri counties. There's also an election in Oklahoma that day. 1 in 7 people face hunger in the Ozarks, and that's why Ozarks Food Harvest is thankful for an annual special Easter time donation. Opal Foods today, out of Neosho, donated more than 200,000 eggs to the charity. Fresh eggs are one of the most requested items from the food bank because they have high protein content, nutrition, and versatility. Ozarks Food Harvest says it's difficult to get protein-dense foods, and this donation will be a huge help.
Storing is not the issue, and distributing is really not the issue. A lot of these eggs will be out by the end of this week, before Good Friday even. So it takes a lot of food to feed a third of the state, which is what Ozarks Food Harvest does. We're thrilled for this, and they're going to be on tables by the end of this week.
Opal Foods has been making this donation since 2008. A little later, conservationists have some advice for people who may want to take care of a baby wild animal.
Plus, our temperatures cooling down even more the next few days. We'll look at that coming up.
Ford pickup and delivery service today through your local Midwest Ford dealer or the Ford Pass app.
Well, of course, we got some showers. We got some thunderstorms in here last night through the morning hours, and then some additional pop-up thunderstorms during the afternoon. Only a 1/4 inch of rain officially at the Joplin Airport. For the month, 1.71 inches for the year. We're at 5 1/4, but we're actually about 1 1/4 inches behind because we are in one of our rainier months. March, April, May, and June are usually our rainiest time. So we need to get the rain when we can. All right, looking outside, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Our cold front has blasted through. You can see the band of showers and thunderstorms. Even some of these produce some very small hail. Nice little rainbow afterward, looking off toward the east as these push through this evening. But these are all gone. They were kind of up toward Stockton, but now they're north of Springfield. And then once you get down toward Table Rock Lake and toward Berryville, we still have some showers and thunderstorms. Besides that, not a whole bunch is going on. Whole storm system is wrapping up. We have snow on the backside, Kansas, into parts of Nebraska. So that cooler air is filtering in. In fact, look at these temperatures. 32 Sioux City. We have 30 in Wichita, 37 in Oklahoma City. Dodge is sitting at 27, 22 in North Platte. So that colder air is working in. It's windy. We're getting sustained winds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. But at times we've had gusts kind of 30-ish outside. And that's what we're going to see tonight. The strong westerly winds. And then they'll slowly die down as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. But with colder temperatures working in and windy, look at our wind chills by morning. 15, 16, 17, 18 degrees. That's the way it's going to feel to your skin, so you're really going to have to bundle up tomorrow morning. All right, let me walk you through time. Tonight, a lot of clouds, back down near freezing, and of course it stays windy. Mostly cloudy through the morning hours. About 40 by noon. I think most of us mid-40s. 43 in Stockton, 47 in Anderson, Grand Lake 50, Parsons up to about 46 degrees. As we get into Wednesday morning, our winds are going to diminish. We're going to hit the dew point, so we're going to get a hard frost across the area, and our temperatures, they're going to drop 26, 27 degrees. By Wednesday afternoon, a little bit better, we go into the mid-50s. Some showers may skirt just south of us Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but in general, the next few days are going to be dry. All right, 34 in the morning, 39 by noon, high temp 47. It does warm back up. We just got to wait a few days. By Thursday, we're back into the 60s. By Friday, we pop into the 70s. 70s over the weekend, but we are going to have some chances to get some showers and thunderstorms in here by Easter and lasting into early next week. 47 tomorrow, 55 on Wednesday, 64 Thursday, 74 on Friday, 76 Saturday, and then chances for showers and thunderstorms on Easter, hopefully late Monday and Tuesday.
All right, well, it's going to be cold before it gets warm.
It is. I got
That's
a couple cold nights.
Going to have to get used to it. Yeah,
I know it.
Really cold.
Yeah.
Hope that doesn't affect any of the gardens already.
I know, I
out
hope
there.
not.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the Missouri Department of Conservation wants to remind people to leave wild baby animals alone. Chances are, if you encounter a wild baby animal in its natural setting, the parent isn't too far away. While the inclination is to do a good deed, experts say interacting with the baby animal is one of the worst things people can do.
I know the internet is full of tales of stories about how people may have raised baby squirrels or baby birds or baby whatever. But there are also a lot of stories that didn't make the internet. And those are stories that ended with the death of the young.
Experts say trust the parent of the animal to know what it's doing. Still ahead, the NFL implements a new rule to emphasize player safety. And Labette County and Columbus softball put their undefeated records on the line. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Labette County softball is off to a hot start to its 2024 season. After the first week of games, Lady Grizzlies are 2-0 with 14-run victories in each of those first two games, both of which came on the road. Now Columbus and Labette County softball both off to 2-0 starts. Labette with its home opener. Bottom of the second, Caitlin Simpson, top of the second, hammers this pitch to left center. That's gone for a 2-run homer. Titans up 3-1. Now Gracie Major, the starting pitcher for Columbus, and she's in a groove early. Gets the strikeout to keep it a 2-run game in the third. But the fourth inning is where Labette comes to life. 2 runners on, Keely Good smacks this into left field. Bases are now loaded. That sets up Kaiten O'Brien. She hits it hard up the middle into center. 1 run scores. They wave around the tying run. The throw to try and get her gets away, and great base running. Good comes all the way around from first and slides in safely. Labette County shuts down Columbus from that point on. Lady Grizzlies win 7-4. They improved to 3-0. Well, we're 2/3 of the way through the 2023-24 sports season in the MIAA. Pittsburgh State, Missouri Southern, all the rest of the conference member schools have completed the fall and winter sports seasons. And the MIAA announces today its updated standings for the 2023-24 Commissioner's Cup. Every year, this award is given to the school who performs the best across the board in conference play in every sport. Pitt State is in first entering the spring sports season. That means the Gorillas have overall been the top performing athletic department in the MIAA to this point. Now the award gets presented at the end of all spring sports. Over to the Division I NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. Round of 32 concludes tonight. And Oklahoma Women's Hoops falls to Indiana 75-68. That ends the Sooners' season. OU finishes the year with a 23-10 record. The Sooners were Big 12 Conference regular season champions. Meanwhile, Kansas women's basketball also plays at the round of 32 tonight. Very late start. Got going just after 9. The Jayhawks just finished the second quarter at USC. They trail the top-seeded Trojans 33-24 at halftime. KU is going to need a big second-half comeback if it wants to advance to the Sweet 16 to face Baylor. The NFL Owners and Competition Committee meets today and approves a proposal that all but ensures more penalties in 2024. According to NFL Network, the league unanimously decides to ban what's known as swivel hip drop tackles. This means players will receive a 15-yard penalty if they grab a ball carrier with both hands and, quote, unweight themselves by swiveling and dropping their hips and or lower body, landing on and trapping the runner's legs at or below the knee. NFL Competition Committee Chairman Rich McKay says the swivel technique doesn't get used very often, but when it is, it often causes injuries to the runner. Now, NFL Executive Vice President Troy Vincent said last week this play is likely to be similarly enforced to the helmet-to-helmet tackling rule, which obviously not only results in a 15-yard penalty, but warning letters and fines to offenders. So obviously we're a long ways away from the next NFL season, but something to keep in mind that could look a little bit different, especially at the start of the year when refs are still figuring out how to call this.
Yeah, I can see a lot of playbacks and needing to look at that video over and over again. Of course, this is just at the NFL level right now,
yes,
right?
Just at the NFL. Yet to be seen what they do at college, at the college level or even high school too.
All right, thanks, John. Well, that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this. Well, some students at the Independence Middle School in Kansas got some stress relief this morning ahead of math state assessments. Members of the Independence, Kansas Fire and EMS department stopped by to provide the students with stress balls. Each stress ball had its own positive message, such as believe in yourself and yes, I can do that. No word yet on whether the stress balls had an effect on the test scores. I suppose the men's basketball team for Kansas needed those this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would have helped them.
Final sports note?
Yeah, well, tomorrow morning, Pitt State football actually has its first spring practice of the year. So we're getting closer and closer to college football season, too.
Oh, exciting.
Freezer. It's going to feel more like winter for us tomorrow. 47 for a high. We're going to have a pretty good freeze tomorrow night, down to 28. Back to 55 on Wednesday. 70s right around the corner once again by this weekend.
Well, here's another look at the historic Union Depot in Joplin. I love this look. Thanks for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great night and an even better Tuesday.